Hello everyone and welcome back to Formula 1 2017 Career Mode. Last episode, Sebastian Vettel locked up his fifth driver championship in Mexico, and now we got Brazil, just the second final race of the season, which leaves us with two more opportunities to get a victory before the season's over, which, to be honest, in a Williams car, I doubt we're going to be able to do that, but we can hope for the best. You see where we stand up against the other teams right now. We're pretty even with Renault, so we certainly still have some work to do when we go into next season. But we just need to hope for the best and get as many resource points as possible here. As now you see we are under qualifying now on our first attempt at making a lap. Vettel currently does sit on the pole. I'm using, once again, in this controller, I had to use a controller because I didn't have my gas pedal on my wheel fixed at this time, and I believe Abu Dhabi will also have a controller being used, and then once we get to next season it'll be back onto my Thrustmaster wheel. So I'm excited to get back to that, and hopefully it goes well with the controller here. I'm not sure what to expect. I haven't driven a controller at Brazil in forever, so we have to hope for the best here. As we come to the end of our first lap, we go P9, which I wasn't extremely happy with that, so I decided to make a second attempt at a lap, and it went a little bit better. You see, right here we got P8, so it's not terrible. I mean, I think it was better than our goal position, so I mean that's good enough for me. And our teammate Lance Stroll will start 14th. He hasn't started that good in quite a while, actually. So now let's get ready to race.
So much on the line here today. I can't help but shake the feeling that we're going to have a bit of pushing and shoving, Anthony Davidson, especially into turn one this afternoon.
Well, we do see a fair amount of that here at Interlagos, Crofty. It's a tricky braking zone, of course, as you're heading downhill into the centre S, which always makes it easy to lock the inside front and run a bit wide. We've seen a number of occasions over the years with someone from the leading group taking a bit of a knock on the first lap and having to recover. That's one of the reasons we've had so many exciting championship fights here. Hopefully, though, it'll be a clean start, of course, but as you say, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's not.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and a Williams, Sainz, Magnussen, Ocon, and Jolyon Palmer, Vettel, Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, and Hulkenberg, Van Dorn, Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson, and Daniel Kvyat. Stroll and Roman Grosjean starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright, you see some fairly large names there with grid penalties going into this, so our starting position will be a little bit better here as we get ready now, starting P6 in the Brazilian Grand Prix, right behind Max Verstappen. 5 red lights, and we are green for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I'm not going to make an idiotic move into turn 1. I'm just going to kind of squeeze down there. And we are 3 wide. I didn't want to be 3 wide, but it should work out. Yes, it will. We will clear Verstappen there and Sergio Perez, who is going to be the guy that kind of gets screwed over in that situation. You see Kimi Raikkonen currently leads the pack. We sit behind Max Verstappen's teammate now, Daniel Ricciardo. And actually, Red Bull just a couple days ago unveiled their 2018 paint scheme, and that thing is so nice. It's certainly the best F1 paint scheme to be unveiled so far. I know I've seen Renault. It was kind of similar to the one they just unveiled, and the Sauber Alfa Romeo is kind of ugly in my opinion, but so Red Bull certainly has my vote, and Williams is the exact same thing as it has been the last 3 years, so it's trash. But now we come into the last corner for the end of lap 1. We gained 2 spots out of that, so it's not bad at all, but I don't really think we're going to be able to hang on too long. I think that Verstappen might even have a shot at getting to my inside right here before we get to turn 1. He is certainly looking, but he's going to fall back in line behind me, and he decided not to make the move. He's got plenty of time to get by me, so it makes sense for him not to try it at this point in the race. You see, we did have something yellow there on the engine, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Brazil is a really fun track, I must say. I've always enjoyed racing here. I've had a few bad races here in my time, especially in F1 2016. I've kind of actually blown a championship here, so I remember that race very much. Yeah, that was an unfortunate one. But obviously, we don't have a chance at a championship this time around, so it doesn't matter. I mean, really, we can kind of take some big strategy calls if I wanted to at this point in the season and see if we could make it work. But I might do that at Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it at Brazil. I don't really see that working out very well. So we're just going to kind of follow the other guys as usual, strategy-wise. As Kimi Räikkönen sets the fastest lap, we still sit P4. We actually put just a little bit of a gap between ourselves and Verstappen. But now as we come to lap 4, towards the end of lap 4, you can see that it's actually raining. At least 20 minutes of light rain, you heard it there from Jeff, and in the pre-race forecast, rain was not a thing, it was just overcast, so I don't know if we're going to have to switch over to the intermediate tires, or maybe we might just kind of stay on a track that's just slightly damp throughout the whole race. But hopefully we'll have to switch to the intermediates. I think that would level the playing field, so hopefully we can make that move. Verstappen has closed the gap at this point now. He's all over me here. I'm just waiting for him to get a run. I don't want to kind of hold them up. I mean, I don't want to be that guy that holds the front runners up. But if we kind of have to hold them up, we will. Just trying to get to the next pit cycle, which is still quite a ways away. We got, I don't know, 6-ish laps till we get there. As we do now come to lap 9, you see Verstappen is right behind us, but we will be pitting this lap. I don't know if they're going to follow me. Slow down in time. We will get down to 50 mile an hour just in time. No one follows me on pit road. So we're entering P9 at the moment. We put on the soft tires. As you can tell, the rain hasn't been enough to put on the intermediates, so that hasn't been a factor. I don't think at the rate that the track's getting wet, I don't think we'll have to put on any type of wet tire, unfortunately. But we're going to come out P20. Let's see where we cycle up, though. We got Grosjean 19th, our teammate Lance Stroll 18th, running like trash, which is not surprising. I mean, if you've watched previous episodes, he has run like trash all season. I mean, if he does this next year and we have a good season, I mean, we're not even going to have a shot at the Constructors because he is just so bad. I don't know why his AI drives like that. Who knows, maybe next season he'll step it up. I'm kidding, that's obviously not going to happen. We are catching this pack pretty fast here, so we got Grosjean, Stroll, and it looks like a Sauber in front of Lance, so I'm not sure if that is Wehrlein or Ericsson. We are gaining on these guys fast, holy crap. Down the front straightaway, we do have someone coming to pit road. It is our teammate Lance Stroll. We do have a few more cars on pit road here that we will be passing. Someone here might actually be able to beat us out. It's going to be close. No, we're going to beat them out. It is Lewis Hamilton. Okay. Yeah, he had a grid penalty. That's why he's behind us. He'll probably pass us within the next 5 laps or so. Actually, he's pretty close, so maybe within the next lap. Oh, what is going on up in front of us? Hulkenberg was 3 wide there with Grosjean and possibly that Sauber. We're going to go to the left side of him, try to make the pass on the outside. And we do clear him. That got interesting in front of us now as we duck under Roman Grosjean for the pass as well and tuck in behind Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber now. He sits behind Jolyon Palmer. We might actually be able to pass Ericsson right here. I'm going to send it in deep under him. And we will pass Ericsson now, so we are already up to P12. Coming up on Jolyon Palmer. We should be able to get by him pretty easily unless he pits this lap. We're about to find out. He is going to not pit, but we're going to go around him on the outside with the DRS. Oh yeah, he's on the soft tire. He can go a few more laps, but now we come a few laps later on the front straightaway. Sebastian Vettel comes through to pass us as he gets in the grass a little bit, but he manages to hang on to it. and gets past us for P4 now on lap 18. Max Verstappen still behind us, but he is now on the medium tire, and we sit on the soft, Vettel on the super soft. Okay, you hear it from Jeff there, we might want to change the fuel mix. Yeah, we should probably put that to lean. That would probably be a half decent idea. The MG UK now up to almost 70% worn, and everything else is pretty decent. Well, actually the ES and the one under that, they're both just about at 50. But now we come to lap 21. Max Verstappen, you see, is making the pass on us on the medium tires finally, but we're gonna hang on as hard as we can. We do clear him in that corner and hold him off just as long as we can. I'm just trying to hang on and get as many spots as I can. He has got, I didn't see who that was behind him, but just trying to manage. Bottas is out in front, okay. I did not expect to hear that. We got just 15 laps to go at the line here. It is Lewis Hamilton who is behind Max Verstappen, so he's probably going to be getting passed by Hamilton, and then obviously we will likely be getting passed by Hamilton and then Verstappen too.
The track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit the wets next time you come in.
I don't think we will put the wets on, Jeff, or the intermediates. And yeah, you see it there, Hamilton has passed Max Verstappen, so he should be coming up on us. I don't think, yeah, he's not going to have a shot on this straightaway, but probably on the front straightaway next time by, he'll be able to get us. He is so fast, and I mean, his grid penalty took his chances at a victory away, obviously. But a lot of big guys did get grid penalties. I think Vettel was one of them. We know Lance Stroll got one. I mean, that didn't matter. He was going to qualify. Well, actually, he qualified 14th, but he was going to race bad anyway, so it doesn't matter. A little bit of oversteer out of that corner. That is not fun to deal with. The rain is certainly, at this point in the race, affecting my car slightly, but it's not really enough to where I would come in and put a wet set of tires on. Now as we come to lap 23, you see Hamilton did get by us as we come to pit road now for our second pit stop of the race. We're still short on fuel as Hamilton enters his pit box. We will enter a little bit in front of him here for the soft tire once again, and we are out in just over 2 seconds. Hamilton is gone as we will follow through.
Pit strategy complete.
Our teammate Lance Stroll is coming in this time as well.
Lance is in the pits.
Alright, on the exit of pit road, we're going to come out in 7th. I don't know if Okun's going to get to me or not. He definitely won't. We can go back to standard for a little bit. You see we now are actually green on fuel. And now we got 3 units there on the engine that are yellow now. As we come to lap 30, still behind Hamilton. Okun, we still have him held off. And I think Max Verstappen made a very smart call. They went with the mediums earlier, and I think he actually might be able to make it to the end to where we're not even going to have a chance at running him down. So I think it was a pretty smart call on their part. I mean, we're beating our goal position right now, so that's really all that matters. And we're beating our teammate Lance Stroll, which has been basically the story of our season. We are catching a Sauber up there who we will be putting a lap down. As we get in the grass there, we get a warning. I don't know if that's, I think that's the first warning I've gotten in this race. Alright, now a few laps later, you see Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen battling. They get into the grass, which is going to really halt their progress. I think Hamilton must have locked up or something going into turn 1, and that hurt them both big time as you see a car on the map coming through to pass Verstappen. So now we have a chance to possibly catch Max Verstappen here with just 3 to go in this race. He is now back on track, getting going, but we certainly gained a lot of time from Lewis Hamilton making the move into turn 1, and it just did not go well for him at all. So we got 3 laps to do it. We are 2.9 seconds to hear it from Jeff there, so we are certainly still too far back to catch him. unfortunately. So now we come to the last lap in the Brazilian Grand Prix. As you can tell, we have not been able to catch Verstappen as Valtteri Bottas comes through to get Mercedes a win here in Brazil, which is very fortunate for him. He doesn't have a shot at the championship, obviously. No one does, since Vettel clinched it in the last race in Mexico. But now we come towards the final corners here. P7 is where we're going to bring it home, which is kind of unfortunate. I was hoping for something better. Pretty loose through that corner there. 5 seconds down behind Verstappen, so we've lost a lot of time in just a couple laps. But now down through the final bend into the long straightaway here in Brazil. Past pit road, we are going to bring the car home in the 7th finishing position as Valtteri Bottas brings home a victory. And Lance Stroll is probably in last, or somewhere around there. I don't want to call him out too bad, but I mean, his AI is absolute trash. Now we get to watch Team Mercedes celebrate here. We should have Toto Wolff. There he is on the screen. He's happy. Probably not very happy since they lost a chance at a Drivers' World Championship. You got Ricciardo on the podium there, and either Vettel or Raikkonen joining him on there. We'll find out in a moment. There is Marcus Ericsson with a dead last finishing spot. So we know our teammate Lance Stroll didn't finish last. Woo. And it is Raikkonen joining Bottas on the podium there.
Out onto the podium after a fascinating Grand Prix.
A very happy Valtteri Bottas as he sprays champagne into the camera. It'd be cool if they could make Daniel Ricciardo's character maybe in the next game do the shoey whenever he wins. That'd be kind of cool. But here's our finishing order. We got 7th. 10th is Daniel Kvyat, our teammate Lance Stroll, with a great 17th place finish, setting himself up very well for the season finale in Abu Dhabi. But we sit 7th in points as well, just 7 points ahead. Or no, sorry, that's not 7 points ahead. We're actually 9 points ahead of Perez. So we have a decent gap on him going into Abu Dhabi. So hopefully we can finish the season in 7th place in points. That'd be nice. So we'll try to make that happen there. You see in our resource points, and Perez is actually our rival. We are currently losing going into Abu Dhabi. Our rep went up a little bit for some teams. Basing on the teams that it looks like we're going to get an offer from, I think next season I'm going to stay with Williams. At least for like the first part, unless we get a midway season contract offer, I'll consider who it is from, and maybe we'll switch over then. But overall, a solid race in Brazil. It could have been better. It wasn't really dramatic either. But we're going to have to make some upgrades shortly. We really don't have enough points to do that, but that'll do it for this episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, comment if you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the season finale in Abu Dhabi.